Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining our show, Access Denied, on this Wednesday. Hope everybody's doing good on this hump day. Check in with us. Let us know how you're doing. Tell us good morning. We got a lot to talk about this afternoon, and look forward to communicating with everybody. How you?
Hey, yo. First of all, happy birthday.
Yeah.
Ain't God good?
God is good all the time.
God is good. I woke up at about 5 o'clock this morning, celebrating your life,
Yeah.
thanking God for a good friend, a good example, a model of what a husband should be, what a father should be, what a community leader should be, what a co-working team. And I just thank God. And you saw my prayer that no weapon formed against you shall prosper. Every tongue. Y'all better listen to me, y'all. They better listen, because what I be praying, I don't be playing it. I already know every tongue that rises up against you, God gonna condemn it. And for my pettiness, I hope the eyebrows, eyelashes, everything, and they fingernails and toenails fall out and never return.
That part. Well, I appreciate that birthday wish. I was like, oh, yesterday I was like, man, it's my birthday on Wednesday. So it's been a good year. It's been a crazy year. It's been a year of something that we just never experienced before. But like you said, just the prayer, staying prayed up and faithful, humble, and just being a friend before you need a friend is just what I've tried to do this year and every year. But it's been a good year. It has been a good year.
It has. You got Carson, you got Brittany. Brittany's so cute. She put on there, she said happy engagement in a birthday. Boy, I hollered. You know what I did? I said, you know what? First, I was going to clown on her. You know, I clown on my girl. I was like, you know what? I just think that that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Because she's just creating memory. Like she's just cherishing the memories. And it's just a great model for women like myself, right? I'm newly dating again. So, you know, it's just black. When you have black women who are modeling that type of appreciation for their spouse, like, you know, I just think it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's definitely helped me. I mean, yeah, because the compliments make me feel weird, but I can't appreciate them when I look back and say thank you. I've learned how to say thank you.
Yeah, and it's so funny that you should say, like, I'm laughing at you because you said the compliments make you feel weird. I feel like that too.
Yeah.
Let's dig into that, right? Because I think it even goes to just us as a people. That's who we represent, Black people. We are not taught to celebrate.
Yeah,
we're not taught to celebrate our accomplishments because we're always being put down. And so, you know, our ancestors just say, you know, you just gotta keep going, right?
Yep.
And that stuff hurts us when people put us down, when they say mean things to us. And I think I spoke about that on Monday on our update, how we've got to speak power and love and hope into these children, from the home all the way to the school.
It's like it. I think what you're saying, like you never even want the compliment because you think it's gonna slow you down and just lose the gains that you get complimented for. So yeah, like whatever. Like I just try to keep it moving, but learning how to just slow it down and just take it and accept it and respond to it and appreciate it but still keep it moving. We can do both.
Oh yeah, John. I mean, you're doing great things on our team. I know I be push you, but it's because, you know, I know what's in you and I see the greatness in you. And like just from the work you've done with the organizing team, even up to now, you know, I just see it being even greater. So I want you to know publicly, I appreciate everything that you're doing and what you gonna do. So happy birthday, John Little. Can I tell them what's gonna happen? Can I talk about me?
Come on, yeah.
Because it's John's birthday. Gigi gonna keep the baby tonight. Y'all wanna clean everything and everybody in the house because I want to make sure I want to make sure everybody is sanitized. The rat is gonna be put up. His butt is gonna be put up somewhere. I don't want him on the baby. I got my mask. I'm ready. I'm happy.
Yeah, and we appreciate that too, because I was like, man, like let's spend a little bit of time, and we were like, all right, let's make the call so we can make it happen. So we're excited.
Yeah, I have my resume is I have over 27 years of experience with babies. I have over 25 years of nursing. I have 4 years of childhood and early development. Yes, I took that as a vocation at Weiss Creek. I took 4 years under Diane Smith. And I worked at a child care center as an infant teacher. I've taken CPR and done CPR on plenty of people.
and Carson said he's excited to get out of the house. He's like, they hoard me in here.
Oh man, we gonna turn up.
Yeah,
y'all gonna come back. He gonna be like, who y'all?
Where we going?
Where we going? I gotta stay here with my Gigi.
Well, we got a lot to talk about today, like just articles that are floating around in public education here in the state of Tennessee. Discussed the 53% of education funding. Only 53% of education funding is actually going to education. We'll talk about MMPS and how they plan to spend $300 million in COVID funds. An article that came out earlier this week was Williamson County petitioning the governor to allow remote learning. And then another article, which I think is amazing that we may discuss, is the mayor launching Digital Future, which takes our kids of today and aligns with the industries that are already in Nashville so they can grow as the city grows and not be left behind. So a lot to talk about.
You talking about the same anti-CRT, no mask wearing people in Williamson County.
Yeah.
What?
They said it's two sides. They said it's two sides of Williamson County.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was
I'm from Williamson County. I'm from the hood, so I don't know.
Right. To see that come out, it'd be interesting, really. And I think they copied the state reps that are from there, the Senator Jack Johnson, the state rep Sam Witt. And so it'd be by the end of the week to see if they got any traction and what do they do if they don't get traction.
Okay. So we can put a pin right there. And let's just talk about this on not just in the context of Williamson County, but when you think about virtual learning, how piss poor it was for most schools, I think we have to properly make a demand here.
Yeah.
Not that we have virtual learning, right? Like that it is of great quality, right? Don't just give me something to satisfy a problem. Let's talk about a solution to an issue. And that is the virtual learning must be of meaningful quality, meaning that it must mirror what greatness needs to look like in the classroom. Because some of them children wasn't getting no greatness in no classroom either.
Yep. And Candace says, agree, virtual learning was of no quality. And it's like, I mean, at that point, it's like, damned if you do, damned if you don't. Like, what we getting?
I thought about that. I posted something on Twitter last night. It was kind of deep, and it may have gone over some people's head. But I asked a question. I think it's a valid question. And I was asking, like, when will those in power, like, when will they make decisions, the right decision for the right thing, instead of making the wrong decision for the right reason? I know this sounds crazy.
No.
But when I think about that, and I'll just kind of explain, when I think about choice, because that's what we're talking about right now.
Right.
You know, you got a governor who's saying it's the parent's choice. And I believe in choice. Like, I believe in school choice. I believe in shopping choice. I believe in food choice and healthcare choice. I believe in all those things. Like, you've got to be able to make an informed decision. The word choice means decision. It does not mean charter school.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever did that, they were brilliant, but they're wrong. And we got to start Googling stuff. The word choice does not mean charter school. The word means decision. Google it. Look at Webster. We have to be able to make good decisions. So we want to make sure that we're making the right decision, a good decision for the right reasons, and not making a decision like the wrong decision for a right reason. And in this case, not having a mass mandate is a wrong decision. But I understand the reason is because people's decision. But we have to make the right decision for the right reasons.
Yeah, and I've been struggling with that just a little bit, like trying to form an opinion because and that's one of the articles we'll talk about with a lot of the money coming in. The Tennessean highlighted 300 million, and then the board last night we went over it, and I couldn't get my finger on it. But what just hit me now is not that we don't talk about it and put it out there, but it's no real commitment. When I think about commitment, there's no commitment to say you can give me 300 or you can give me 500 million. My commitment won't change because it's no commitment to the kids on what we're going to get, what our kids deserve, and what's going to really change. It's a transparent process that's not setting us up to say we're going to go above and beyond. And that's the struggle I have.
And I think it's a valid struggle. I think it's what we've been saying in a different way, right? Like this is what we've been saying, and this is what we knew. But I think what happened to you is it was like, well, dang, this is what I've been seeing. This is what I've been feeling. But then for somebody to actually like do it right in your face, right? Like, what is the return on the investment? What is the progress and the outcome that $300 million is going to provide? I think that it is unacceptable not to provide that. Who does that? That's just like you coming to me and I'm your mother and you say, Mama, give me $20,000. And I don't look at you and say, son, what you gonna do with the $20,000? It's my last 20. This might be my last opportunity to get this $20,000 like this, right? But even if it's not, I need to be accountable. I need to be a good steward, So, son, like, I'm gonna give you $20,000 because that's what they're doing. They're giving it to them.
Yeah.
What do you need it for? And tell me, what are you gonna have to show for it? Didn't your daddy used to say that to you, John?
You can't just what's like you said, what's the return on investment? I think when we look at the resources for the longest, we have talked about, we're not having resources and that's why we don't get a lot. And I think it's easy to like not take a position. I think it's easy to say we're going to do the best that we can. We're going to work hard and we feel really good, but it never goes as far as say, we got you. And I think that's what people want to hear. Like, we are going to take care of you. I remember working in the schools. I was like, one thing I can control, I can make sure your child is not going to be bullied. And if it does happen, we're going to take it really serious. And I just remember like believing that myself, the parents believing it, and the students realizing like, yeah, this ain't the time, because it was a commitment and I was on the line for that. And so I had to go above and beyond to make sure it didn't happen. And I think that's what parents are looking for. Like, what's the commitment? Whether the child has an IEP, whether a child is gifted, maybe a child's just middle of the road. What's the commitment for the children of Nashville once they leave the school system?
I mean, I'm about to send you something that I saw yesterday, and I did not say anything because it grieved me really bad. And sometimes when things grieve me really bad, I just kind of wait. But I saw yesterday where an organization was celebrating our school leaders making Nashville's teacher the highest paid in the state.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's a commitment, though, right? That's a commitment to the teachers.
but nobody makes a commitment to our kids.
Right.
And it grieved me, man. I want to see people eat.
Mm-hmm.
But nobody ever thinks about our kids eating.
I used to think about like the story, like, the power of a single story. And, the single story was like kids graduating, like kids excited, throwing hats up, playing the graduation music. And then I thought about, but what about the kid who knew they were supposed to graduate and walk and they're not? And their friends, cousins, or neighbors, and they're like, yeah, like I'm out here.
It's I listened to the video we were listening to on I don't know if you're about to play it.
Yep.
And it's so funny because they're the same talking points that we have, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that academically our children were behind before COVID. Coming from my director of schools.
Mm-hmm.
And I listened to it. But like you said, you hit the nail on the head. There's no commitment.
Yeah.
There's no real commitment to turning this around. And I can respect true goals from Dr. Battle I can expect setting some true goals and some outcomes and some work towards those goals.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, none of us know.
Mm-hmm.
The people that are writing those checks, the people who it affects the most, none of us know what the goal is here.
Right. And I'll play this video, just the one that Sonya is talking about, to listen to Dr. Battle talk about, learning, academic achievement, and kind of sharing some things of like what they're looking forward to and what's up next. Let me pull it through.
Our parents and students should be preparing for an excellent school year. Our teachers, our support staff, our principals have been hard at work, really planning, engaging in professional learning to meet the needs of their students as they return. So I'm really excited about that. And I think that's something that our students will feel immediately. I think we should all be concerned about where we are with COVID and the new Delta strand. There's so many things that we don't know still today after over a year of navigating the pandemic. So it's not something that we should let our guard down around. We've got to keep our protocols in place, mitigating the spread of the virus as much as we can to protect our young people. And what my plea is for the community and for folks to hear, all across, Nashville, the state, is let's do what's right for our young people so that they can remain in person for learning, so that we can maintain continuity in that learning throughout the remainder of this upcoming school year. Everyone's local context looks a little bit different. And so we have to take that in consideration. And so we will continue to receive the data and information that comes to us from the health department and working with our local health experts around what's best to protect our children here in Nashville. But at the very least, I want to continue to encourage everyone to be vaccinated, get vaccinated if you're eligible, and to mask up. Masking up protects others and it also protects yourself. As we're talking about our academic performance with our students this week, it's not surprising that the data is where it is. I mean, we know that the pandemic has dominated the conversation around education for the last 16 plus months. We know this. I think what's most important now is that we don't look backwards. It's important for us to look forward because a lot of these same data points and concerns we had them prior to the pandemic, whether that be actual content mastery performance, whether that be engagement, whether that be their transition into a new grade level this year. We're going to take that information and we're going to move forward.
Are we moving forward?
Mm-hmm.
The only way to move forward is to have a clear vision for what forward looks like and to have priorities and goals that are related to the end game. And what we have seen in the community, the media, everyone is seeing, even with presenting like the plan last night, is that the majority of the priorities are related to the adults, jobs.
Mm-hmm.
And people, I understand people need jobs, but with jobs, there's expectations that they can do something. So just any thoughts on that, John?
Yeah, I think you talked about it when you said it's jobs, but I think what people are looking for, like I think it's not even a bare minimum. It's like what's expected. What's expected is someone to go to school, to learn, to graduate, and be able to really survive in Nashville or survive around the country. I think what people are saying now that I'm hearing is that, yep, like let's just hang it up. Like it's been a pandemic. It's been a global pandemic, not an epidemic. It's been a pandemic, and so we just need to hang it up, and really don't like the accountability doesn't need to be there because we couldn't do it. But I think like one of the things we got to look at, like who is doing it really well? Like who are some of the people, some of the schools, some of the classrooms, some of the teachers who are getting it right and it's working? And like, how do we take that feedback and follow up for our children?
First of all, the feedback has got to be wanted and there has to be an intention to use it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say that about feedback. You got to want to receive feedback, or it's murmurs on your ear.
Mm-hmm.
And you say things like it's a publicity stunt, or, those people are getting on my nerves. When I think about Chick-fil-A, why Chick-fil-A is great. Like everybody know Chick-fil-A, they badass.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever that person is, I don't care about their political party, they views. I don't give a shit. Brilliant.
Yeah.
It's because they understand customer service.
Mm-hmm.
And public education does not understand. It does not understand customer service, and it does not want competition
At all.
And so when you demand better, and when parents see better, and I don't care what kind of school it is. I'm not talking about a school type. I'm just talking about when you notice that your child done got better from wherever they done come, whenceforth, as the saints used to say, they've come from. When you realize what better look like, you're like, oh shit.
Right.
Like, is this what I've been getting? That is what's happening. Parents are starting to understand that what they got wasn't excellence.
Right.
The kids are not getting excellence, and so they're realizing that we have received poor service.
Yeah, and so that's what I struggle with, right? So last week, and I know Candace is on here, I think Ms. Brewington, she said that the principal was like, hey, forget them results from TN Ready, like we moving forward. And just circling back, one of the things I want to see second week in a row, we're asking, have parents received your TN ready scores yet? Have you received your child's TN ready scores?
Or a TCAP? Wait a minute, John.
Yeah.
So let's just talk. I'm gonna stop you right there because you're saying something that the powers that be, you're saying TN ready. Now they saying TCAP. Hell, we don't know what's what. Like seriously, like I'm not trying to be funny, but it's like the messaging around it is crazy. And it's like, we don't know. You said Miss Brewington is like, they're saying that they're not even going to look at it. And it's like, okay, but that doesn't make sense. So why the hell we got a dashboard if we're not going to look at it? What have y'all? Maybe that's the problem. You ain't been looking at it.
Yep.
But guess what we gonna do? We gonna teach parents how to get it yourself, how to understand it, how it can inform your decisions about your child. That's what we're gonna do, John.
And that's what we're working on. And just want to hear from you guys, because the results were released. I want to say it was the 10th, so about 15 days ago, and just seeing where we are, and are we setting up to really support the parents to understand the dashboard. One of our alumni, our fellowship alum, posted yesterday again, and this I'm hearing this more and more, so now I'm gonna ask the question, but the dashboard is merely what was already an Infinite Campus. And so she looked at the budget, was like, oh, they spent $100K, but what did they really do? And who's really getting the support? And so every parent I talked to, I think in the last week, I've spoken myself just 11 or 12, and no one knows about the dashboard. No one has seen their TN ready scores. And then we just have to ask ourselves, again, what's the commitment?
Well, we had a promise in scholars and nobody knew what the hell the promise was. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know that nobody knows the commitment. There is no commitment. Nobody knows because there isn't one. There is no commitment to making sure that. I want to correct something that Dr. Battle said in their video. Y'all, we going into our third school year of COVID. Did y'all hear what I just said? We're going into our third school year of COVID. 3 school years. I'm not just talking to Dr. Battle. I'm talking to everybody. See, I want to correct something too. When we talking about schools, we talking about all y'all, everybody. I don't care who you are. I want to get that straight. MNPS is everybody that's under MNPS umbrella, whether they're operating it or not. Talking to everybody. We are not 3. Everybody, anybody can get it. 3
anybody can get it.
Anybody can. 3 years of COVID-19. This is the third school year. Third school year. Swallow that pill. And we don't know what to do. I tweeted something last night. I wasn't necessarily saying I was going to start a school, but I thought about it. I said, if I started a school, my God, this I was actually having a vision. This is what it would look like. This is where my students would be. They wouldn't have a choice because the expectation is excellence for everybody. Everybody that walks in their door, whether you're visiting my building, whether you're partnering me with everybody in this building, excellence would be. It would just be the expectation, or you don't come in there.
And one of the reports we read, right, and so we keep talking about funding because it amazes me how people value the school system. And so the money's there. I think in Tennessee we spend $11 billion on education. And a report says, you know, only 53% makes it to the actual classroom. And so they were asking, but where does the money go? And then they said when they looked at the numbers, it's like vice principals, people in administrative. And so actually the funding in Tennessee is going down, even though we're getting more money, because it's not making it to the classroom. So we keep talking about resources. And I remember we talked about our central office here and how they deducted $1 million. But I think everybody can realize that more money needs to make it down to the classroom.
I don't understand this. This is what I've been told by board members and essentially by Dr. Battle, that the funds go to each school and each principal has their own plan. So that's why that's why being able to make an informed choice is important, because each school is different in this city. Every school is different. Every school is different. So if you're trapped somewhere, right, where that different is not good, your child is in bad shape, because you got different, you would think you would have a visionary, right? And then that visionary casts a vision and you have vision carriers. What we have is a central office vision that does not trickle down, because when you have and for example, when you have a principal that says in orientation that we're not going to use the data, right? But then you have a central office staff that says we have a student dashboard, right? That clearly tells me that the vision from the central office is different from the vision in the school building. I mean, that's we all know that, but I want to identify that, because that is the problem.
Yeah.
You've got different people doing different things, and some doing it very, very poorly with no oversight. We got a director of schools, we've got superintendents, then we have principals. Is that right? Is that how the hierarchy goes?
It's executive directors. So you got the chief academic officer, and then you got the executive directors who manage territory, and then you have principals, and then you
manage what? Say it again.
All right. They manage the principals.
You said something that I loved. You said they manage territories.
Oh yeah, territory.
Yeah. Ain't that some slave stuff? Yeah. I was gonna say a bad word, but God, it did something with my tongue. That's some territory. The hell? Anyway, it just described it perfectly. Yeah. And that's why you have this side of town. That's not why, the only why. Like, that's not the only root cause, but that's one of the root causes is why you got one side of the town doing okay and the other one just not doing.
Right. It's a big difference. Talking to one of our parents, she sends one of her kids across in the Hillsborough cluster, I think, to JT Moore, and then she has another child that goes to Pearl, and then she just realizes that her child across the way, because they need just more support, is going to get that support.
So pull up Candace's comment. She says, I got a call out from MNPS, and they said to expect the results sometime. Girl, they already got them. They've been having them. And if they got now I tweeted MNPS, and they said that it's already in the dashboard. So there's just such a big disconnect here. And I hope somebody from MNPS is listening and taking the feedback, not getting all, defensive and shit. Like, you got to be able to take feedback. Y'all all over the place. Right hand don't know what the left hand is doing.
There's no alignment.
And when we get to these school buildings, this is what we've been trying to tell y'all. It ain't what y'all saying it is. It's not. No, it ain't what the district office says it is. And so they're like, Sonia, can you call us with I can't call you about 86,000 children.
Right.
Fix the issue. Because you got problems. You got problems all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to call you about every problem when you need to fix the issue. They ain't finna run me crazy.
Yeah. One of the articles when we talked about like the stopgap solutions instead of coming up to really fix the issue. It's almost like when you got a leak and you put some tape around it. Like that's going to be temporary.
Shoot, it's just like trying to put out a fire with some gasoline.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine that? Oh, we got a fire over here. Pass me the gasoline.
Mm-hmm.
That tickled me.
And I see we got a lot of our fellows checking in. I see Sheree. I see Dominique. I see Keisha, who's currently in there. I see Miss Majors. I see Ivory. I see Thomas. Thank you guys for checking in. And then I see Miss Fox, who comes in and talks to us. Miss Booker. I see Miss White on here. Sorry for passing you, Miss White. And then we got Candace, who has just been since we started this. So thank you guys for chiming in. Oh, and then we got Miss Harris, Tiana.
I see Miss Olivia Lohan is over at Smith and Craighead. We got a school leader on here that I am quite sure who is taking this feedback to try to take it back to that school and see what kind of suggestions or solutions as she's listening to parents and seeing y'all's comments. So make sure y'all putting them in there, because we do have some people from schools who, traditional or charter, whoever, who look at these comments that I'm hoping will take the feedback. There's some good people out there. But there's, like I said earlier, there's some decision makers who are making the wrong decisions. And they're not putting children first, and they're just kind of using the kids, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Love you too.
And let's put it out there if you guys can respond. And Tiana, thank you for responding. She said no scores yet. But also, as I think, Sonia, you said someone responded back and said all the scores are on the dashboard. Has anybody been taught or given the information to get to the personalized student dashboard? Like, that is my question. Has anybody reached out, sent anything home on how to access and get to the dashboard? And Tiana is saying no. Like, I'm trying to figure something out when we talk about some of the things that we want to do, and then we have the resources. Like, are we really doing it? And is there a real plan in order to make it happen?
No, it's just smoke screens. Like, one of our parents, and I tweeted their message, Stephanie. And Stephanie, I didn't put your identity on there, but I did cut your message and say it was from a parent that she said she saw the dashboard, but she's like, it's not helping. It's not doing anything. So Metro Schools retweeted their phases to it.
They retweeted what?
They said, like, sent this, it wasn't nobody but Sean. He tweeted a slide with phase 1, phase 2. Sean, it still don't make no sense. I don't care how much you put them damn slides up there. Y'all ain't making no sense, because we still asking what you gonna do with the stuff in the dashboard. I mean, it no matter what you say, you're not making any sense.
Yeah. And when we talk about phases, all it is data, right? And so you're literally taking one data point. I think it's ACT, it's TN radio, TCAP, what you want to call it. It's like behavioral stuff, attendance, culture. I don't know what else we phasing in when it's just data, unless they said the other phase is actually bringing attention to issues and helping the kid. But other than posting the data, Yeah, I don't know about the phases. Tiana says, my son's school said messages will get announced in school for a child to relate to parent or call from MNPS. They don't have funds to send out the paperwork.
Can you copy and paste it?
Mm-hmm.
Copy and paste it and send it to me. She right. I'm gonna tell y'all something. This might piss y'all off. This is what I know. It's schools using this money to get new phone systems. They don't even have call our ass, and you gonna get a new phone system. I'm sorry for cussing. I'm just in a bad mood. And I shouldn't be cussing, but it's grown folk on here. I'm sorry. I cuss. I just cuss. Pray for me. But it makes I'm angry. Like I just don't know. I need to get this. Like you got schools getting new phone systems, and they say we don't. Then we were told that they can't operationalize the plan for our child, and you only spend $100,000 on something that you already had. I think you spent too much on that because it's in Infinite Campus. Like that was already there. It's just the schools could see it and the parents couldn't. And so what you did was you just made it available for, outside readers. And it's just, and you change the look of it. But, I'm hip to it. I mean, I talk to teachers all the time and they saying the same thing. This is how you know when you write, when the teacher's looking at it going, what the hell? When our own teachers are doing that. Well, we don't have the money to, compete with them on messaging. Parents don't have the money. They got all that money and they can put up commercials and shit. And we just don't have that money to do that. But I'm gonna tell you right here, I'd much rather my child have a personalized learning plan or the things that they need than the school to get a new phone system that they did not need.
Yeah, we didn't have a communication issue. We had an academic problem. And I see Torva says it's not the 190 number. You have to call a help desk for them to send you a number.
It's the 190, but you got to put 2 zeros in front of it. For the Tennessee Ready number. Don't put that link up. Put the Tennessee TCAP numbers. So you need to put 2 zeros in front of your 190 number. It's the same number. Wow. It's just their system would not allow, like, it needed those couple extra numbers. So check this out. We're going to drop the link in here and some instructions. John, I think I sent you guys some instructions. We probably just need to cut them a little bit. We're going to drop them in there. But check this out. Next Monday at 6 p.m. Are y'all listening? Everybody listen. Come in here and listen. Next Monday, 6 p.m. We're going to have a guest here. John, can you put up his information? His name is Eric. His name is Eric. And Eric will be here from the Tennessee Department of Education. We called them and asked them to help us to support our parents, making sure that we're not dependent. We're not dependent on anyone anymore. So Eric Wolf, he's the director of assessment, use, and interpretation at the Tennessee Department of Education. And he is going to present to us the tools that their system that they created that will allow us to log in and to look at TCAP scores for our children. He's also going to give us some information on how TCAP scores inform the state, how they inform school districts, how they inform parents. The thing here, guys, is you have to have information that informs your decisions. And so this is another piece of information to help to inform how you guide, how you going to take over your child's education from here on out. No more depending on anybody, no more being betrayed, no more of any of those things, right? we've got to equip you with the knowledge and the power that you need so that you can make the informed decisions for your children. And so Eric will be here Monday at 6 for our first speaker series of the school year. And we're excited about having him. So if you haven't signed up, sign up for it. It's on our events on Facebook. Our parents should be getting an invite to it. But make sure you sign up. Make sure you tell people about it. We're gonna get an understanding of TCAP, and all that get an understanding, get an understanding, as my good friend Thomas Driver would say, get an understanding, of what TCAP means. And you're not going to get it all in one night, right? This is something that we will be focused on. Primarily, there's a couple of reasons why, John. I want to talk to them about why this is important.
Okay.
There's some new laws that just passed, legislation that went into effect July 1st. One in particular is the third grade retention law. So those of you who have children, kindergarten through third grade, listen up to me. Listen very close. Listen up, y'all, because this is it. For those who are 90 babies, let me tell you. This information, TCAP, will determine whether or not your child will be retained in third grade. The problem is we as parents don't have clear guidance from the Department of Education as to how will we know the difference between poor instruction and a struggling reader. I'm just not clear on that. I hear universal screeners for struggling readers.
Okay.
What I don't hear is, how do I know they're not receiving poor instruction? How do I know that? And I think that they owe us that.
Big time.
You owe me. You owe me that. You owe John that. You owe all of us that. I don't think that's too much to ask. How do I know the difference between my child receiving poor instruction like they have done for decades and my child being singled out or struggling?
And I think as we go into this next year, and so, one of the things is being discussed, what happens if we do go back remote? What happens if we don't? And I think what we're missing is, the commitment. I think we talked about it last year. It was a commitment to offer high quality. No, that's what we asked for. High quality virtual remote learning. And no one could commit to it. And, the response that we got back from everybody, virtual schools suck. And we definitely lost. We lost on TN Ready. We lost on MAP. We lost academically. But now as we're thinking, like, this Delta variant is growing, like something may be coming down the pike. And so what happens then? Does the system just give up? Do they go above and beyond and say, we're going to do this differently? But are we talking about the possibility?
They're just saying they knew it was going to happen. See, we said we knew it was going to happen. We came up with a plan. The district said they knew it was going to happen, but we got new programs. You always done had new damn programs.
Yeah.
See, let's just talk real. The programming should help with driving you towards your goals. But we don't even know what the goal is.
Right.
So what are we driving to? Where's the destination for these children? I think they honestly don't know.
Yeah.
When I drove my son to school this morning, there's a couple of things I said to him. You got your mask? Yes, ma'am. Are you caught up on your homework? Yes, ma'am. Do you have your login so I can check all of your stuff? Because I want to work with you and partner with you to make sure that you're keeping up, because these are some vital years. You're in the 9th grade. And also, son, let me prepare you for school stopping abruptly. He said, what? I said, great leaders always plan ahead. And you are a great leader, son. And I need for you to plan ahead, meaning you need to stay caught up on your work, make sure your assignments are turned in, you are communicating, you know what you're supposed to do, because we never know. We might wake up just like in March 2020.
Yeah.
And school stops abruptly. And he said, yes, ma'am. Parents, for a lot of you, school has already stopped because your children are quarantined. Oh, can we go into that?
Yeah, I was just about to pull up I was just pulling up the numbers.
Good segue. Let's go. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about what the board talked about yesterday. Truancy and excused absences. Those are problems, right? The issue is whether you are truant or whether you are absent because you are quarantined or you're sick, you're not learning.
Right.
You're not learning. Nobody's talking about that.
Yeah, because what we talked about, they said it was asynchronous. It was like, nope, like, the quarantine process. But I'm gonna tell you this, it ain't been communicated to the parents. And these kids, once they go on quarantine, it's hangout time. And then they still confuse. One school said once you've been in close contact, I was like, this is not making sense. Once you've been in close contact, you got to go get the test. But if you were in close contact and you caught it, it's not going to show up on the test the next day. And so you find yourself going to get the test, it coming back negative, but it takes a few days for it to reveal itself. It's just, when I look at those COVID numbers, and maybe it was just that one school, but I think we got a huge problem, like looking at that list, like schools from, I saw MLK, Bellevue Middle, Lakeview, John Kennedy, AZ Kelly, Hillwood High, Mount View, East Nashville, Carter Lawrence, Whites Creek, Crestwell, Otterby Wells, Meigs, West End, and this is staff and students.
The CDC guidelines changed August 19. So the schools have been telling parents when someone has contact, that as they're doing contact tracing, they're sending the child home, and they're quarantining the child. And I think it's day 5 they were saying. They were asking for a PCR test.
Yep.
So check this out. Let's just say that test comes back positive and you've got several children in the house. Right? You got parents, you got children in the house. The health department, the CDC was saying that it is the close contact. Y'all wrong. That's why, but that's why we've got a fire and we're pouring gasoline on it. That's why I'm using that analogy. If you don't quarantine the whole house, even if you have vaccinated one, so if they saying that the parents are vaccinated, right? The child has been in contact with somebody at school, then the child is quarantined. If the parents have been vaccinated, then they can just go on about their merry way. CDC guidelines is saying that the people who are vaccinated are also capable of spreading the Delta variant. Once you get it, you don't know what variant you got until it's tested, right? And so what we've got is we've got carriers of COVID. We've got households where children got it, the daddy got it, mama sending everybody else to school. I promise I witnessed this yesterday. I actually talked to a mother that the daddy got it. The kids went and got COVID tested and they went to school, but daddy is at home with a fever.
Yeah.
I kid you not.
Yeah.
If I'm lying, I'm pass out right here. I ain't lying. I promise. I talked to a parent yesterday about this, and I was like, I've been a nurse 25 years. And I made this, I said this yesterday. This is what I'm referring to. It's like having a fire and saying, hey, bring me the gasoline so I can put this fire out.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter said, Mama, Sarah, bring me some gasoline so I can put this fire out. Bring me a glass of tea, actually.
Right. And one thing Tiana says, she says, goes back like the social distancing is not happening in class nor on the bus.
No.
Torvald says siblings of scholars are not considered close contacts of someone with COVID-19. Therefore, siblings of scholars do not need to quarantine.
That may be the guideline. But ask me why we got this stuff going around with little fire with gasoline put on it. Because y'all ain't making no sense. CDC, you ain't making no sense. And they changed on the 19th. So the CDC guidelines should also change the guidance from the school.
Mm-hmm.
So if they don't watch the CDC guidelines, what they confused as, then it's throwing gasoline on a fire.
Yeah.
And they just changed it August 19th. I read it yesterday.
And that's one thing we ain't talked about. Like it wasn't even on my radar. Like none of the news I read, none of the conversations on radio. But it changed. It changed
on the 19th. Mm-hmm. And it's just changing and changing. And it's scary. It's really scary that those who are in power are not taking this serious. Like they're making the wrong decisions for the right reasons. And I'll go back to that. Yeah, people have choice. And yes, we need to open back up, and businesses need to flourish, and children need to go to school, all of those things, right? But you have to look at what's going to happen if you don't take a drastic stance.
Yeah. And just as we wrap up, and I don't know if it was the case, but I definitely wanted to highlight civil rights activist Rick Patton, who passed away yesterday, Miss Connie Donnell, who passed away this week. And so it's as we continue to go through, just like Sonia said, we're the third school year in COVID protocol. Be safe, mask up, get vaccinated. And if it does come to your house, quarantine
the whole family. Take care of yourself. It's taking our whole families, moms and dads and children. I mean, we're gonna have some children that are gonna be orphans due to it.
Yeah. And unfortunately, I read an article yesterday, lost a kid in, I want to say it was Shelby County.
Yeah, Shelby County. They lost a child.
Yeah.
And so I leave you with this. How many?
Right.
Governor Lee, how many?
How many is enough?
How many? How many is too many? How many? One is too many for me, especially when we're fighting against something that we have no control over. Viruses have a mind of their own.
Yeah. We thank you guys. We'll see you next week. Enjoy yourself. If you have questions, reach out. But other than that, we'll see you next Wednesday.
Yep. Speaker series Monday at 6. Speaker series Monday at 6.
Yeah.
All right.